All right, we are recording and welcome again to our YouTube channel. Heidi Begley here with the Passion Project. Thank you all for subscribing and make sure that you hit the bell so that you will get notifications. Well, I have had an overwhelming outpour of your love and I definitely thank you all for it. So let's get right to it. I talked to you about how I had lost so much weight, and I'm just going to start giving you a little bit of simple steps today, just simple steps today, because you can't overwhelm yourself. You know, sometimes you start pulling out all these food journals and dieting and how, you just start stacking up the books and you start counting up the calories. And the next thing you know, you're just overwhelmed. And we're not going to do that. We're just not going to do that. We're just going to start with simple steps. And the other thing, though, that I really want to get across is that it's the passion project, which means that I really want to stir up the gift that lies within you. We want to tell you today that you are so much more than you ever thought of. You're so much more than you realize. I want you to stop and I want you to realize that. I want you to stop and remember that you are created and like 10 trillion cells had to come together, or it was 10, well, I don't even know how many cells had to come together and form this most perfect body. It's a miracle. Sit here and look and see that you are an absolute living, breathing miracle. And every person that you come in contact with is a living, breathing miracle. And I want you to start perceiving the world in that manner. And when you start perceiving the world in that manner, you will realize that you need to take care of each and every miracle in that manner. Yourself, each person you meet, each animal that's breathing, each plant that's breathing. I mean, seriously, think about it. When we think about things as each miracle that has sprung forth on this earth, we start taking care of ourselves better and start taking of all the living things around us better. So let's spring forth with that kind of attitude, and then we'll start remembering to take care of ourselves better. All right? All right. So I want to, let's start with the simple steps. All right? Simple steps. Uh-oh, phone's going off. I'm not sure if you're seeing what I'm seeing on the Zoom here. It says I'm sharing the screen. All right, the simple steps. Okay, so the simple steps. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, so the simple steps. Let's get started towards wellness. Wellness, we've got to get well. I shared with you in the last video that some of the things with the pandemic that really played out were the fact that COVID's comorbidities were obesity and diabetes. And diabetes, of course, a lot of times is because obesity, we had to lose weight. So definitely we want to work on the fact that we need to lose weight and we need to get well. So it's not necessarily all about the numbers on the scale, but it's definitely about getting well, taking care of ourselves. And one of the best ways, and I have the statistics here on the studies. I am a nurse. I do get into studies. You don't have to look up the studies, but I did give you the links, and I will post this the PowerPoint here with the links for you. Studies show that if you have a support from a friend, family member, or a social network, and that's what we are here, we're a social network, you will have more success absolutely, you will have more success. And that's why we are here. We're here to provide you a social network. I told you in the last video that some of my family members were not happy with me, especially when I took the step of a bariatric surgery. And they were not supportive of that decision for me, even though I feel like that was the best decision that I ever made. So it can be very disheartening when people don't give you that support. And so you may have to look to a support group. You may have to look to right here, social media, and we will surround you and give you that support. If you subscribe to the Patreon channel, we will give you daily support or weekly support or individual support. There's all kinds of tiers that I've set up, and you can apply to one of those tiers and get as intense or not as intense, however you want to do it. MyFitnessPal, I've set up a group called the Passion Project, and you can apply, just apply. You just drop into the group, and that will set up weigh-ins, and that will set up a support group right into MyFitnessPal. It's free. You can do that. So you definitely want to get support from a group. Studies show that that happens, that's just great for you. When I lived in Louisville and I lost my first 50 pounds that I was telling you about, I had a friend, an exercise buddy, and we went to the gym together, and we would work out. I would work out on the elliptical. The elliptical is my favorite workout thing. I do the elliptical and I do the row machine. And we would work out on the elliptical, and then we would do water aerobics together. And I love to do swimming. I love to swim as well. Those are my favorite things. Everybody has their own thing that they want to do. Those are my favorite things. And then there was a lady who was like way up in her 90s, and she would do laps in the pool. And I tell you, I could never catch up with her. And it was so cool just to be a little bit competitive with water, with swimming laps with this lady who was way up in her 90s. It was so cool. And it just motivates you. So yes, get out and do something locally in your, that was just like a park where we had, classes going on. There were yoga classes going on, water aerobic classes going on. And I know they shut all those things down during COVID. I don't really understand that dynamic, but most of the places are open again. So get out and, get involved in some of your local stuff. What are you drinking? Our bodies are made of, on the average, 60% water, some all the way up to anywhere from 50 to 75% water, depending on your age and what's going on with you. It only makes sense that we should really pay attention to replacing our water. I love water, so that's not a problem for me. I know a lot of people who don't like water, and they work on flavoring their water or whatever. It's never been a problem for me. I've always liked water. I love the taste of water. Now, I get a little picky about my water because I don't just want purified water. I want the spring water. Fiji water is artesian well water. And when Pastor Paul, my husband's Pastor Paul Begley, for those of you who don't know who Pastor Paul Begley is, that is my husband. He went through treatments when he was ill, and at the treatment center, they had, it was top-notch treatment center, Aviv Clinics here in Florida, and they did all the nutritional studies, and they said that Fiji water was the best water. That's according to their top-notch nutrition in Florida. So according to them, they said Fiji was the best water. So we do drink Fiji water as much as possible, but if we can't get a hold of it, because it's, it's expensive and it's kind of hard to get sometimes, as long as we're drinking, spring-fed water, that's usually what we get. Or, I also have in my home in Indiana, I have the triple osmosis filter system in. I don't have that here in Florida. But that's what I do. So make sure that you're really paying attention to the water that you're drinking as well. Studies show that keeping yourself hydrated, though, will help you with weight loss. Now, the studies are kind of a reverse study. the studies show that people who are not hydrated tend to have higher BMIs. So it's kind of a reverse study. So rationale would tell you that if you're hydrated, you are probably somebody with a lower BMI, body mass index. If you don't know what a BMI is, body mass index, and meaning that you are weighing more. So definitely try to keep yourself hydrated. There's also people say if you drink water before your meal, it might help satiate you as well. Also keep mindful not to drink extra calories. People will tell you to drink juice and that it's good for you, but really most juices are packed full of sugar. Colas, whether even if it's a diet cola, a lot of times is not good for your body because your body doesn't perceive that as not sugar. It perceives it still as sugars. Alcohol, of course, you don't want to be filling your body up on alcohol that's full of sugars too. Your body, again, processes it as sugars. Creamers in your coffee can seem as not that much, but you would be surprised at how much sugars could be in creamers that you put in your coffee. So if you can get away from creamers in your coffee or find lower sugars, in your coffee, again, even, I use Splenda, but that is perceived as sugars a lot of times, and really something I still need to break myself of, but I just haven't been able to do it. So, what are you drinking? Don't let empty calories, don't let that fill up your calories on things you're drinking. If you can just drink water, which is, like I said, I love water, so I don't really have a problem drinking my water, but try to get to drink water. I remember one of my home health, I'm a nurse. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a nurse. I was a nurse for 25 years until my poor body started breaking down. And now I'm a retired nurse. But when I did some home health, I had a gal who was trying to lose weight. And she just simply, this is what this is about. It's simply take away one habit. I want you to try at the end of this week to just stop one habit. And what we did with her, she just took away her diet pop, and it was diet pop, but she had a lot of fluid hanging on her, and diet pop has a lot of sodium in it as well. And so we just took away the diet pop, and sure enough, by the time I came back to the next visit with her, she had lost 10 pounds, and that's diet pop. But again, like I said, she was having a fluid problem. And diet pop has a lot of sodium in it as well. So it was just one simple change that she made. And that's what today is about. It's about focusing on just one change. Let's just start with one change. Is that scale weighing me correctly? This was my issue. I remember, I think in the second time that I ended up gaining 100 pounds back. So the first time I gained 75 of the 50 I lost. And the next time I had lost 70 pounds, I gained 100 pounds back. And I noticed both times I would argue with that scale. I'd be like, that scale's not weighing me right. Something's wrong with the scale, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I finally came to the realization that I was just lying to myself. There was nothing wrong with the scale. I was gaining weight and I was lying to myself. Studies show that being accountable to weigh-ins makes your weight loss more successful. And that's exactly what I found. I am a nurse. I know how to tell other people to take care of their diets. I understand the whole caloric intake. I could tell you all the proteins, all the macro and the micro and all of this stuff, but I still had a weight problem. And my problem was, unless I went and paid somebody and to be accountable to my weigh-ins, I couldn't do it. And I finally came to that realization, and it would infuriate me. It's like, I'm a nurse. I know how to do this, right? I absolutely know how to do this. But unless I would try to go down to, Weight Watchers and actually put my money in, or something online like Noom. I tried Noom. Anything that I would actually have to pay for and actually have to show up and put a weigh-in in, unless I did that and made it worth my while, I wouldn't lose weight. I'd just argue with that scale and I'd say something's wrong with this scale, and that was me. And 100 pounds later, there I was still arguing with the scale, so that was my issue. I mean, I'm just telling you, you can learn from my mistakes. And studies actually show that unless you're accountable to weigh-ins, that will make your weight loss more successful. So the studies actually back up what I found to be true for me. And it would infuriate me because I'm like, I'm a nurse. I know this. I'm trained for this. I tell other people this. I educate people on this. I educate diabetics. I know this. Why is this not working for me? Well, I had never did get the answer why it wouldn't work for me, but I proved out what the studies show. So that's why we're here to help each other and to support each other. And we have the weigh-in accountability on MyFitnessPal. And I've done MyFitnessPal for a long time. And now I set us up a support group called the Passion Project. So that's free for you. You're not putting any skin in the game here on the MyFitnessPal function here. That's free for you. You can join it free, or you can, again, join the Patreon, which does have a little fee. It's $3 fee is the bottom tier. So if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way, but you don't have to pay to join the FitnessPal either. So either way you want to do it is fine with me. We're here to support you any way we can. Small changes. Let's do small, achievable goals, sustainable goals. So it's not going to do you any good to say, okay, I'm going to cut out all sugar. I'll never eat another sugar. I'll never do it again. I ate a peppermint York patty today. I'm not giving up my chocolate, okay? I have cut it down to just that. And I remember, chocolate is my thing. And I remember finally having a Valentine's where I had just a small heart with 4 little chocolates in it and being able to spread that out over a couple weeks. And I was like, hey, I can actually not gobble down every chocolate that I see in front of me. And I'm like, I finally can do that. So small changes. All right. No, I'm not giving up chocolate for the rest of my life. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. But I can make a small change to where I can just have a bite of chocolate but I know better than to buy the whole bag of chocolates and have them in this house because I cannot handle it. I just can't. But if I just buy a little mini bar and have a bite, I'm good. All right. So small changes, small achievable goals and sustainable goals. And what will work in your lifestyle? If you've got 3 kids that you're trying to get out the door, 3 big boys that you're trying to get out the door, like I did, you're not going to be able to sit down with this whole meal planner and all this. You don't have time. How are you going to have time when the boys are throwing balls in the house and everything else? How are you going to sit down and concentrate on a meal planner? You're going to have to maybe have us help you with a meal planner and throw your way, right? Which we can do down the road for you. But if you are a person who has time for a meal planner, maybe you can help us with that, So what's going to work in your lifestyle may not work in my lifestyle. Now I'm an empty nester. So now I have more time to help somebody else. But when I was raising 3 boys and a nurse working 12 hours, I needed more help, right? So what's going to work in your lifestyle is not going to work in somebody else's lifestyle. So you got to think about that when you're trying to decide, okay, how am I going to adjust this? And we're here to help you do that. Implement goals and don't just talk about it. All right. I was bad for this too. This was one of my bad things. I think about a goal and talk about a goal. I can, write down a goal even, but was I ever going to implement it? Okay. So we have to walk forward. We're going to move. We're going to do it. All right. You can do this. We're here to tell you that you can do this. All right. And we're going to cheer each other on. All right. So please don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. so that you will get these notifications. We have a Patreon channel for daily, weekly, and individual support. I will leave this the link in the description below. I told you about my Fitness Pal group, the Passion Project. And by the way, I do have a website. It's called Begley House, and it has some of my favorite recipes there. I'll be adding more recipes for you. And I give you much, much love, because we definitely want to love each other through anything. And I'm going to push you a little bit, and I'm going to cheer you on a lot. All right? All right. God bless.